porn is the act of watching somebody else have sex and enjoying it. That's not how you're going to have really good sex or know how sex feels. Because if you're jerking off 3 times a day, man, you're not going to feel the urge. Because, understand one thing, scientifically, every time you ejaculate, you masturbate, watching porn, and you ejaculate, your testosterone slightly increases. But what happens is your prolactin, there is a hormone called prolactin, which increases much more. And that is the reason you're not able to get a hard-on back for 30 minutes or an hour. Because that prolactin, when it's high, you feel satisfied and complete. Our testosterone is high in the morning, low in the night. That's why we have a hard-on in the morning. If you have low testosterone, you will not have an erection in the morning. So if any of you guys are not having it, check your testosterone level.
Today with me is someone who's got a massive influence when it comes to health, wellness, good, clean, honest communication. The man needs no introduction. Dr. Santhosh Jacob, vanakkam and welcome to Chennai Live.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, you coming in here, not seeing you work out and in this lovely studio of yours to see you in our studio gives us a lot of joy, Dr. Santhosh.
I can do a few squats if you want.
I'm sure you can. You will make me feel weak. That's the problem. Dr. Santhosh, first question. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
கேள்வி வந்து ரொம்ப முக்கியமான சிம்பிளான கேள்வி இருக்கு. How are you? பதில் வந்து நம்ம யோசிக்காம சொல்றோம். Because probably we don't understand how we actually feel.
இல்ல யாரு கேக்குறான்றத பொறுத்து இல்ல. அதுதானே இன்னும் முக்கியம். யார் என்கிட்ட கேக்குறா அவங்களுக்கு என்ன பத்தி எவ்வளவு தெரியும்ன்றத வச்சு தான் என் பதில். சோ நீங்க நெக்ஸ்ட் டைம் கேட்டிங்கனா நான் கொஞ்சம்
டீடைலா சொல்ல போறீங்க. அதுக்கு அப்புறம் சொன்னா இன்னும் டீடைல்.
அதுக்கு அப்புறம் கேட்கவே மாட்டீங்க.
தெரியாம மச்சான் எப்படி இருக்கீங்க?
ஓகே விடு யூ டாக்டர் கிட்ட ரொம்ப பேசிறாரு.
Has the meaning of health from those days to these days actually changed?
Yeah, it has. See, இப்போ அந்த காலத்துல எல்லாம் ஹெல்த்ன்றது ஒரு பிசிக்கல் அப்பியரன்ஸோ இல்லனா பிளட் டெஸ்டோ இல்ல ஸ்கேன்ஸ் நல்லா இருக்கிறதோ இல்ல மாஸ்டர் ஹெல்த் செக்கப்போ அதெல்லாம் கிடையாது. ஒரு 30,000 வருஷத்துக்கு முன்னால இருந்து 19th செஞ்சுரியோட ஆரம்பம் வரைக்கும் ஹெல்த்னா என்ன தெரியுமா? We evolved over 30,000 years to be able to walk and run 60 kilometers a day, man. Your grandparents would have. My grandparents would have. ஸ்கூலே 10 கிலோமீட்டர். ஸ்கூலுக்கு போனோம்னா போயிட்டு வரணும்னா 20 கிலோமீட்டர். சரியா? ஸோ 30,000 வருஷம் நம்ம 60 கிலோமீட்டர் ஓடுறதுக்கு நடக்கிறதுக்கு இவால்வ் ஆயிட்டு 124 வருஷத்துல 10,000 ஸ்டெப்ஸ் நடந்தா கை தட்டணும்னு எதிர்பார்க்கறாங்க ஆளுங்க. யூ அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட்? அதனால இப்போ ஹெல்த்தோட அர்த்தமே கம்ப்ளீட்டா மாறிடுச்சு. ஹெல்த்தோட அர்த்தம் இப்போ என்ன தெரியுமா? நான் வாரத்துல 4 நாள் எக்ஸசைஸ் பண்றேன், நான் 10,000 ஸ்டெப்ஸ் டெய்லி நடக்கிறேன்னா ஹெல்த் ஆயிருச்சு. கம்ப்ளீட்டா மாறிடுச்சுல. the standards have lowered.
Are we the strongest? Are we the wisest? Or are we the most stressed out?
Oh, we're not the strongest, definitely. Where are the warriors, man? Strength matters only when warriors are celebrated.
What is the war? We don't have a war today.
I know, but are we celebrating the soldiers? If we were actually strong people, we would celebrate actual strength. The soldiers who are in cold climates, standing for us, keeping the battle away. You know why there are no wars? ஏன் சண்டை இல்லைன்னு எல்லாம் அங்க நின்றுட்டு இருக்காங்க. வர முடியாது யாராலையும். இன்டெலிஜென்ஸ் வந்து ஃபுல்லா கரெக்டா பார்த்துட்டு இருக்கு. அவங்க நிறைய வேலை செய்யறதுனால நம்மளுக்கு ஸ்ட்ரென்த் ஆக்சுவலா தேவையில்லை. உங்க வீட்டுக்கு வந்து உங்களை யாரு உங்க குடும்பத்தை உங்க திங்ஸை திருடிட்டு போறா அந்த பயம் இருக்கா உங்களுக்கு? இன்னைக்கு இல்ல. 100 வருஷம் முன்னால இருந்துச்சு. ஆண்களும் பெண்களும் சண்டை போட தெரியணும். இல்லைன்னா உயிருக்கு ஆபத்து, குழந்தைங்களோட உயிருக்கு ஆபத்து. சரியா? இப்போ லைஃப் ஈஸி ஆயிட்டதுனால ஸ்ட்ரென்த் காமன் மேனுக்கு அன்னெசரி ஆயிடுச்சு. ஸ்ட்ரென்த் காமன் மேனுக்கு அன்னெசரி ஆனதுனால ஸ்ட்ராங்கா இருந்தா ஸ்ட்ரென்த் ஷேமிங்னு ஒரு விஷயம் கூட வந்துருச்சு இப்போ. சரியா? that you don't have to be strong. Why do you have to be strong? See, why strength is important ன்னு நிறைய பேர் மறந்துடுறாங்க. Your brain and your body are linked, man. சரியா? உடம்பு ஸ்ட்ராங் ஆகலைன்னா மூளை எப்படி உங்களுக்கு ஸ்ட்ராங்கா இருக்க முடியும்? The reason why mental health is such a big problem today is because physical health and strength is a huge problem. So strength standards இறங்கிருச்சு just by activity levels. See, இப்போலாம் நான் எம்பிபிஎஸ் நான் முடிச்சுட்டு டாக்டர் ஆகும்போது 2004, அடுத்த வருஷம் வந்தா 20 வருஷமா நான் டாக்டரா இருக்கேன்.
அட்வான்ஸ் வார்த்தைகள்.
ஆமா, தேங்க்யூ. அதுலலாம் அந்த டைம்ல ரொம்ப டேஞ்சரான வேலை, யாருக்கு அடிப்படும், யாருக்கு ரொம்ப முதுகு வலி வரும், கால் வலி வரும்னா ஆர்மில இருக்கவங்க, இல்லைன்னா நிறைய அந்த டேஞ்சரான ஜாப்ஸ்ல இருக்கவங்க. இப்பெல்லாம் வந்து நான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் கேள்வி என்ன தெரியுமா கேட்கறது? முதுகு வலி முட்டி வலி இருந்தா நீங்க ஐடில வேலை செய்றீங்களான்னு கேட்கறது. சரியா? Because now the problem is inactivity.
Correct.
The problem is not நான் 60 கிலோமீட்டர் நான் இன்னைக்கு கஷ்டப்பட்டு நடந்த சார் எனக்கு முட்டி வலிக்குது இல்ல. I sat for 12 hours, my back is hurting.
Correct.
Health has changed, no? Health has completely changed. So my entire goal is to make people understand one thing, that rest is not good for you. Movement is good for you. You have misunderstood luxury. Luxury means the ability to keep moving without getting injured. That's luxury.
Very
Not
well
sitting.
said.
Not sitting, not resting. That's going towards death, man. You know, if you don't stand up, if you're not moving your limbs, if you're not against gravity, your heart needs to work harder. Your blood vessels need to work harder to pump the blood back. And you all want to rest. 19 to 1939, right? Human beings were taking a break from death and disease and war and poverty. Then Second World War came. Then they were taking a break from death, war, the Holocaust, so many bad things. Okay? Now, I have a serious question. What are we taking a break from, man? From a good life where we have too much of everything, where like all the roads are built, where you have electric cars, where on your phone you can actually shoot a movie on your phone. A break from what? A break from an easy life, maybe. Unless you're physically strong, you cannot have the discipline to control your mind. You just cannot.
Physical power greater or mental power greater?
You just can't look at it like that.
Yeah, it is a sink that makes the body. It's the body that makes the life.
And it is interchangeable.
Yeah.
And it is interchangeable. See, it's an equal relationship. Sometimes your physical strength will help you take a great mental decision. Sometimes your mental strength will
allow
stop you from doing something. That's why you have to strength train and exercise and play sport and have relationships, be in the sunlight, choose to do hard things. கஷ்டமான விஷயம், அதனால தான் சூஸ் பண்ணி பண்ணணும். See, எனக்கு 3 சர்ஜரி இருக்குனால அன்னைக்கு தான் நான் 90 minutes எக்ஸசைஸ் பண்ணுவேன். ஏன் தெரியுமா? நம்மளா சூஸ் பண்ணி ஒரு கஷ்டமான விஷயம் காலையில பண்ணும்போது, நம்ம எல்லாம் காலையில எழும்பும் போது நம்மளோட கார்டிசால் ஸ்ட்ரெஸ் ஹார்மோன் அதிகமா இருக்கும். ஸோ ஃபஸ்ட்டு விஷயமே நம்ம கஷ்டமாக பண்ணி ஒரு வெயிட்டு தூக்கி கஷ்டமாக ஒரு விஷயத்தை பண்ணி வேர்வையோட நம்ம காலையிலேயே நின்னோன்னு வைங்களேன், நம்ம உடம்புக்கு அந்த கார்டிசாலை இன்னைக்கு எப்படி கண்ட்ரோல் பண்ணுறதுன்னு சொல்லி கொடுத்துட்றோம். அதை பண்ணாமல் எந்த உடனே ஃபோனில் உட்காந்துட்டு பார்த்துட்டே இருந்தோன்னு வைங்களேன், அந்த கார்டிசால் அப்படியே பில்ட் ஆகிட்டு இருக்கும். சடனாக வேலையில் ஒரு ஸ்ட்ரெஸ் எதிர்பார்க்காத வரும்போது யூ வில் ரியாக்ட், நாட் ரெஸ்பாண்ட்.
Tell me a bit about food and today's youngsters. Are we doing it the best way, or have we complicated something that is so damn simple?
Yeah, we have. See, the problem with food is colors and choices. Okay? You have to understand that. When you have a lot of choices, you know, it becomes very complex for you to actually feel satisfied even if you ate the best possible choice you wanted. Do you understand my point? நீங்க டோனட் ஃபேக்டரிக்கு போறீங்க, 10 வருஷம் முன்னால நம்ம டோனட் சாப்பிடணும்னா என்ன, ஒரே டோனட் தான், காஞ்சி போன டோனட், மேல ஒரு சாக்லேட் சாஸ்,
Glazed chocolate.
அவ்வளவுதான். சரியா? சோ வாரத்துல ஒரு நாள் அப்பா டோனட் வாங்கிட்டு வந்தாருன்னா, அப்பா டோனட்னு சந்தோஷமா சாப்பிட்டோமா, டோனட் வாரத்துக்கு முடிஞ்சிச்சுடா சாமி. இன்னைக்கு நீங்க போங்களேன், ஒரே டைம்ல நீங்க பாக்ஸ் ஆஃப் 12 வாங்கினா கூட 12 எக்ஸ்ட்ரா இருக்குங்க. And you know how it screws up a very simple physical thing called hunger, where you eat something, it's very tasty, but still you feel that you've missed out. And that's the problem today. We have the fear of missing out, even though we have so many choices, even though we have access to eat anything we want. 100 years ago, nobody had fear of missing out. When you have that fear of missing out, you're anxious that you've missed something. And it's so sad because it's all designed to make us confused.
Correct. Always
that
keep
we
us
can eat
hungry.
more.
Yeah, never quench the desire.
Yes, and that's so sad. So the only way to any manner be able to fight with that, அதை விட நீங்க சண்டை போடணும்னா ஒரே விஷயம் தான் நீங்க பண்ணணும். You have to become physically stronger. Because when you have more muscle, what it implies is you have more functional cells.
So building muscle is not just for selfies and posting on Instagram. Building muscle is for leading a proper healthy lifestyle and smart thoughts, right, sir?
Building muscle is a very simple way of you, however useless you were till a few days ago, that you have kept up a promise you made to yourself. You cannot build muscle without discipline, which means you might be a big failure. நிறைய சொதப்பிருக்கலாம் வாழ்க்கையில. ஆனா கஷ்டப்பட்டு நீங்க உங்க பைசெப்ஸையோ உங்க ஆப்ஸ்லயோ ஏதாவது மசில் எடுத்துட்டு வந்திருக்கீங்கன்னா, எவ்வளவுதான் நீங்க இன்டிசிப்ளின்டா இருந்தாலும் இதை பில்ட் பண்றதுக்கு நீங்க ஏதாவது மாத்திருப்பீங்க. And adu ungala maathum. See, correct. Human beings have to take small steps, man. Correct. Small steps. Now, people even fit shame. Yes, I understand. Okay, fat shaming is a problem. I have been 150 kilos in my life. Till 4 years ago, I was 113 kilos. I understand that. But I am also telling you, there is also something happening called fit shaming. Oh, you look so scrawny. You see me on my Instagram. I am not scrawny, right? I am 90 kilos and I am 6'3". I am not scrawny. My biceps are 16 inches. But that happens. Which means if it's happening to me, man, it's happening to every guy and girl who's taking the effort to become disciplined.
India, being the most populous country, has a problem of sex. I need to teach you that.
Yeah.
Why did you start that off, and where is today's youngster, which is you, me included? Where are we going wrong?
That was actually targeted towards young parents and anybody who's interested in being a parent. So I personally believe, we have to take the power away from schools and give it back to parents. Parents have to decide how their children behave, believe and act till they are 18. Okay? And I personally believe there can be nobody better than a mom and a dad to teach their children with the right tools, guidance and equipments from experts about what they want their child to think about sex. And my idea is to create a healthy, sensitive way to talk about this, to equip all young parents too. That's why I teamed up with an educational psychologist who has the information, and she was also on the National Child Rights Commission. She deals with all the abused young kids and stuff, and we sat, spoke about it, and we came up with a plan. The next reel will be about the tools they can use, the books they can use, the steps they can do. So,
have the youngsters today overrated sex and under-delivered performance?
There's too much porn around, man. See, when I was 14, in order to see my first naked woman, I had to go and buy a magazine.
For me, Cosmopolitan was like the thing.
Yeah.
That Playboy magazine was like my
Yes.
fantasy. Yeah.
And like, I just read, I'm a big fan of Jordan Peterson. You know what he said? இதை நான் தமிழ்ல சொல்ல போறேன். இன்னைக்கு ஒரு 14 வயசு ஆம்பளை பையனுக்கோ இல்ல பெண்ணுக்கோ அவங்களுக்கு தேவைன்னா அத்தனை செக்ஸ் பிக்சர்ஸ், நேக்கடான பிக்சர்ஸ் ஒரு அவர்ல பார்க்க முடியும். 100 வருஷத்துக்கு முன்னால ஒரு ராஜா கூட அதை வாழ்க்கை முழுசா அவ்வளவு பார்த்திருக்க மாட்டார். That's a problem because when you put sex out, it's a dopamine hit. When you put sex out, you know what porn is? Porn is the act of watching somebody else have sex and enjoying it. That's not how you're going to have really good sex or know how sex feels. The problem today is the overdose of porn, that you actually don't feel the desire to really have sex. Because if you're jerking off 3 times a day, man, you're not going to feel the urge. Because understand one thing, scientifically, every time you ejaculate, you masturbate, watching porn, and you ejaculate, your testosterone slightly increases. But what happens is your prolactin, there is a hormone called prolactin, which increases much more. And that is the reason you're not able to get a hard-on back for 30 minutes or an hour. Because that prolactin, when it's high, you feel satisfied and complete. It also happens to men when their wives are pregnant. Prolactin is high in order to build up that protective nature. Okay? So when you're constantly masturbating 3 or 4 times a day, your prolactin is always high, your dopamine is gone, and you don't feel like you need to put yourself through the stress of going and standing next to a girl in a bar and looking if she's interested or not, and
conversing
then saying,
and
hey,
then
hey,
cajoling.
hi, then thinking of what to say, do you like the music or something like that. You don't really have
And then
to go
first
through
hold
that
the
stress.
hand, look at the eyes, get
Yeah.
closer. That's too long for.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And also see, there is another thing which men are not understanding. All men have to understand this. With the advent of online dating, men think that it has become easier for all men. No, 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 no. I'll tell you what research says. After online dating, the men who get maximum choices are the men who belong in the 5%. Because all the women, the 0 to 100%, will only click those people. So even though the rest of the 95% are in the pool, that 5% is getting 99% of the female choices. Whereas when sex wasn't this easy, the 95% guy had a choice, had a chance. Now, it's overflowing for the 5%. And these 95% are just depressed. So liberalization and making this access to sex easy hasn't helped the average guy.
So when I speak about sex, you immediately start talking about what men are doing wrong. Let's talk about the other sex as well.
I'm
Women.
sorry. I would not ever think that I am capable of understanding or trying to explain.
Every man wants to understand what a woman is thinking or doing, sir.
No, sorry. I would not attempt to. I would not attempt to. And I think it's just, see, it's out of respect, right? Like, I would, see, it's all about hormones. I would know how
You feel or a man could feel.
testosterone feels like. You have to understand, men behave like men. Men have a daily cycle. You have to understand. Our testosterone is high in the morning, low in the night. That's why we have a hard-on in the morning. So there is actually a check. If you have low testosterone, you will not have an erection in the morning. So if any of you guys are not having it, check your testosterone levels, okay? We have a daily cycle. Women have a monthly cycle. We behave that way because of our hormones. Let nobody think that we can actually understand how the other sex feels. I think it's just respect to avoid talking about it. Why should we speculate? Sometimes I really don't even know how the other man feels, man. He might have more testosterone than me, lower testosterone than me, in a different place in life than me. How the hell would I think I would know what women feel like?
Is the testosterone level active or validated only till 35 and then gradually reduces because of lifestyle
Your
or
testosterone
biology?
level starts to reduce from the age of 21.
Okay.
You have to take active steps to keep
Once
it up.
upon a time, long ago, when I was there in the peak.
Yeah, see, testosterone.
How does one keep it
increases.
up, sir?
So there are supplements, right? But those are not at all the most important. You keep it up by competition, exposure to sunlight, active exercise, setting up goals, avoiding sugars, eating good fats, avoiding processed foods, and setting goals on a regular basis.
And good sleep as well, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then the interventions, which is cold, cold exposure increases your testosterone levels. Studies are showing that people who play competitive sports, they have an increase in testosterone. I'm actually doing a how to boost your testosterone seminar next Sunday.
Sign us all in, sir, for that. I don't know if we need it, but we want to know about
see,
it.
everybody
It's
needs
important, sir. It is a sign of youth. It's a sign of aggression. It's a sign of enthusiasm.
Testosterone was required in order to compete for a mate. If I wanted my genetics to be everywhere around 500 years ago, I would have gone, killed all the men, and impregnated the wives. That's what all the leaders did, right? That's what everybody did. You need testosterone. Today, the world is in such a way only because men who had testosterone did whatever they did. We have to accept that and understand that. Remove testosterone from that, we wouldn't have had the Mughals here. Genghis Khan wouldn't have gone to Mongolia. Christopher Columbus would not have gone to South America. It was all testosterone because we need competition. We need to achieve goals. And all that has been minimized now because you don't need explorers. They've already done the job for us. But at least don't kill testosterone, man. Just because that job is over. Because if this cushy life is actually taken off and danger is actually outdoor, you'll understand the value of testosterone.
Has emotion reduced in a relationship, sir?
So this I can say love. I'm not talking about young boys who don't understand what it is. I'm talking about men who have gone through a trial of suffering, suffered and continue to suffer and endure in order to create value and acquire something very difficult. For men, love is not an emotion. It's an act of service, right? So if you're in love with me, there are some things I expect you to do. Yeah? Like I expect if you have the time to cook. For me it's important that my wife cooks for me. To take care of my child. If you're not working and you have time, invest in your child. Invest in my child. It's beautiful. To dress modestly, beautifully. We have requirements like this which are acts of love. It's not how you make me feel. It's what you do, and it's obvious to me. Because what you feel really doesn't matter. Because we feel like this now, half an hour from now, one phone call, you'll be upset about something, I'll be upset about something, man. And how the hell can we all act on feelings? And that's a huge problem, right? Because feelings are fleeting, your actions are not. I acted how I felt, okay. You know how wrong that is now? You should stop acting when you feel differently. You should stop. You cannot act like how you feel, because you'll feel 100 different ways and you'll screw up in 100 different ways, and then you'll think, oh my God, I shouldn't have acted this way.
What is it that people have not seen about you, or the experiences that you have that have made you this today?
Yeah, so the one thing which I'm sure, other than my classmates from school and my classmates from university know about me, is that I used to have a really bad stutter. I used to stammer hell of a lot. People used to ask me my name, and it used to take me like 10 seconds to get S out. It used to be very difficult. And then I was also quite obese. I had an addiction issue. I was around 150 kilos in +2. I gained like 50 kilos in 2 years, 11th and 12th. So I completely understand about all the struggles each and everyone is going through. You know, that's one of the reasons I reply to all the DMs and all the messages, even though sometimes it's 350 messages a day, man. You know, it's very difficult.
That's a work in itself.
Yeah, it is. And the thing is, there are so many genuine messages in between the hi sir, hello sir, blah blah blue blue. So I have to do that. So the Mel Gibson, right? He said this. You know what human beings are most afraid of? Public humiliation. I have been obese. I have stammered in life. I have been humiliated in public many, many times, man. So I don't really have that fear. The only fear I have is that someday I might meet the man who I was supposed to be. And that would be hell on earth for me, right? And that's not going to happen with me. I'm going to take all the effort I can. I could have been the guy who said, oh no, I'm too fat. I can't speak. I've screwed up so many times. Hey, I am the poster boy for failure, you know? Like, I've failed so many times in life that if I had to write a book on it, it'll be much
chapters.
larger than my successes. But what I understood was, like every failure, see, success is actually it's a different term. Success is actually feeling better. Do you realize it? You keep failing better, suddenly you're successful. It's so simple. So when people say you've been successful, like when I was congratulated on my 1 million, right? I told them, you know, there are 13 million Tamil accounts on Instagram. Like 13 million
இது வந்து
Tamil
ஒரு
accounts on
perception தானே
Instagram.
சார். ஒரு பர்சனுக்கு சக்சஸ், ஒரு பர்சன் gauges
It's
success
failing
different.
better. I was thinking I've only got 7%. It was a failure for me. But it's a success for others. So it's failing better. You just continue to fail better. You're successful in others' eyes. And basically success is what others talk of your achievements, right? It's not what you talk of it.
Dr. Santhosh, your future, where do you see this going? Whether Instagram account and unga profession da, personal life and what is it that you want to do that you say that's on my bucket list? Where enna irukku?
I just realized something, right? I realized that we have to continue doing whatever we are doing today for the next 50 years at least. That's on my bucket list.
You know what? Aging pati na kelvipattirukken, ana reverse aging modal vaati na paakren.
See, prepare everything. See, even your interviews, right? Just remember one thing. You have to continue doing this for the next 50 years of your life.
Okay.
No, because
God help the audience.
Yeah, God help them. If you don't realize that,
Correct.
God help your audience.
Correct.
So if you realize it, every day starts to mean something different. There is no pressure on in the next 3 months I have to get so many followers. There is no pressure. When you realize that you're creating something where you'll have to prepare yourself to create the same things in different platforms over the next 50 years, you become a monster.
And we're making some really positive monsters. Yeah.
This is Chennai Live, Radio Redefined.